And then Richard Hightower and his group, and Josh Blackwell, Duke grad, blocks the kick to win the game. So just unbelievable, man. What an up and down game, and super entertaining. And I'm just glad they won because I would feel a little different right now. But I'm happy for everybody that got the win, and I'm happy for Caleb to go down there and win the game in the fourth quarter. How many years have we been doing post-game shows asking for that, for the quarterback to take the team down and win in the fourth quarter, and they didn't. And it's just exciting to see that win, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, man. I mean, a gutsy performance by the Chicago Bears, right? What did they have? 5 or 6 starters out?
Yeah.
But what was their chances to win that game? And Pat said in pregame, you know, they would need these takeaways come in bunches. And they sure did. I mean, they got 4 of them today, right? We gave one back, and then you were worried because they weren't scoring off of them. And just how were we going to win this game with Braxton Jones goes out and they can't block Crosby. We talk about Crosby all pregame. Don't let him wreck your game. All of us watching film, not trying to go overboard on how great this guy looks on film, and then you see him in the game. They make some adjustments. They chip with tight ends. They make just enough plays with Rome Odunze and Caleb. Again, we talked in pregame about 3rd and long. They've been scoring on 3rd and long. They do it again in this game, man, where they just find a way to make plays. And then Pat saying Caleb took him down the field. He sure did. But the play caller too, right? Calling runs in that situation. Calling runs, doing a great job. The first thing I thought is run the ball here. Not only run the ball, not only score by running, but run some clock, right? That's great clock management by the head coach, trying to run the clock down, not give Geno another chance to get in the field goal range. And then the Duke grab, Blackwell blocks the kick. Listen, Mineville, Ohio won in volleyball. Illinois won in football. The Bears won. I haven't gone 3-0 in a long time, man. 3-0.
Good weekend.
At the Kreutz house is a good weekend today. And I just want to say again, Mully, what a gutsy performance by Chicago Bears. Nothing was pretty. It was ugly, man. It was an ugly football game on both sides. But you go down there with all those guys out, and you find a way to win. It's hard to win in the NFL.
Yeah.
Coach Ben Johnson, congratulations on your first road win in the NFL. Because that is hard to do, Pat, like you know.
Yes.
And I didn't give them any chance to win this game after watching film and look at how many guys they had out. But they go out there, they battle, they fight. Yes, we're going to talk about all the stuff we saw. But just for right now, they found a way to win that football game. That's in the NFL. No one cares how you win it. You win it.
Olin, real quick, the gutsy performance you're talking about too. You know, I praised Caleb on that last drive. He was under pressure a little bit, but you have to give those tackles credit too. I mean, they were blocking a little bit of one-on-one there. I know Caleb escaped a little bit, but you've got 2 young tackles out there, and you're still able to go down there and score in the fourth quarter. So that you summed it up perfectly with gutsy, because that's exactly what that is. You started the game with 5 starters out. You lose your left tackle. For them to go out on the road and win that game, I want to give those tackles credit as well. You know, Ozzie Trapillo stepping in, Theo Benedict playing both sides. A lot of credit for them on that last drive. So just gutsy. That's a perfect way to describe it. And that's a good win. I mean, that's great for the locker room too.
Great win. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great for the locker room.
I had a great feeling when I thought that Ben Johnson might beat up the halftime reporter. I said, man, we're heading in the right direction. We're heading in the right direction here, right? I mean,
wow. Yeah, he was a little bit out of line. I mean, I didn't think she said anything. Yeah, but the questions were legit. It wasn't like she was trying to goad him. You know, it's funny because you hear from people that there are a lot of people nervous in the building because the guy's so intense, and now you see that. And I'll tell you what, I like that there are a lot of people nervous in the building, and I certainly like that he's that intense. But that was maybe a bit much. I don't know. I felt bad for Aditi. That was a tough spot.
I'm all right with it. If that's the personality of the team now, let's go with it. Let's go with it. Get that personality if you're aggressive. And, I had no problem with it. And like I said in the pregame, coaches are calling out players or setting a high standard. You know what I mean? They're making people uncomfortable. Now he's making reporters uncomfortable. I'm okay with it.
I got to tell you, I mean, there was a point there in the first half where I believe they had starting field position at the 24 of Las Vegas, at their 20, at their 24 again. I think they marched down to the 24 at one point before retreating, and they end up with 9 points. And you couldn't help but feel that they'd had all this opportunity, and they're trading field goals for touchdowns. And how do you win a game like that, especially the way they got absolutely flattened in the run game. They couldn't stop a run for their lives, and you're just worried about that. But I got to say, it's an extraordinary victory for the Bears, and we were going back and forth, and I got to tell you, I think that feeling that it's Caleb time, as you said, Pat, Olin, the idea that, now this is where you win a game, and they really did do it. I mean, you got to feel good about this team, about this coach, and just the fact that they are at 500 going into their bye week. I don't know anybody that would have felt that would happen when they came out of Detroit.
No, they fought back, and you got to give them credit. And Olin, it's again back to Gutsy, because you watched the beginning of the game, and I felt like it was just going to turn bad, right? I knew they were getting the turnovers. They're not getting the points. They had the ball in the 24, the 20, and the 24 again. And like you said, 9 points. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. I mean, this is a game where we're going to have to explain how you lose a game winning the turnover battle. And I thought it was that they were giving up 7.7 yards a rush. But it's Gutsy, man. It just, again, that says a lot about leadership from Ben Johnson, that locker room, them believing. And these wins, they go a long way, man. You start believing in your players. And I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago that I always believed like Urlacher would make a play, Peanut would make a play, somebody would make a play to win the game, cause a turnover to get us back in the game. Well, now we've got a quarterback that I'm starting to believe in the fourth quarter, at the end of halves, can score points. He's interesting to watch because he looks calm in that last drive, right? To me, he looked calm, like, all right, I've got this. Even when he's scrambling and running around, he makes me feel comfortable, and I like that. I haven't seen that in a while from a quarterback here in Chicago, and that's another game for Caleb that you can put a notch in his belt that we're seeing growth.
Yeah, and it wasn't like last week, right, Pat, where he was, like you're saying, it wasn't like he was protected well the whole game, right? He still was calm and hanging in the pocket, and his feet didn't get happy, right? Like he was taking hits. Max Crosby was all over him. Kuntz was pressuring him. They were batting balls, right? They were trying to push the pocket on a shorter quarterback. They had a good game plan for him. But like you're saying, it didn't rattle him, which was a question I had from last week. Okay, yeah, you looked great when everything was really nice in the pocket, right? He had a really good pocket last week. He had a lot of time. But this week was a little different, and he still came out there in the fourth quarter, hung in the pocket until he couldn't, right? Like you're saying, there was some pressure, and he had to use his feet. And he's really good at that too. And led him down the field and did the things he had to do. And here's the good thing about what Coach did, right? Coach Johnson did. He didn't have to be Superman, right? Take him down, boom, start handing the ball off. Give it to Swift. Theo Benedict had a great block on the touchdown run. Took out 2 guys, right? Like other guys making plays that tells you that we have not only one guy being great, but maybe we have a really good play caller, which is what we thought we had when they hired the head coach. And like you guys talking about, man, I mean, come into the game and you're saying, okay, I don't see them, I'm saying on film, I don't see them stopping the run. And Pat says to me, well, they'll get turnovers come in bunches. And you're right. That's the only way they were going to win, right? That's the only way they were going to win after that. Because they were going to give up, in my mind, they were going to give up 200-plus yards rushing. Right, that's the way it was going to be, and everyone said the Raiders couldn't run the ball, and I was thinking they haven't seen the Bears yet, and all we needed, guys, was Chip Kelly to be averaging 7 yards a carry and throw the ball in the first play in the third quarter. That's exactly what we needed. That's exactly what we needed, and we got to thank him too, right? Like
they can't help themselves, man.
No one's stubborn with the run, and that's fine because that's what the Chicago Bears need. But Tyreek Stevenson. A tip of the cap to him. We talked to him in the pregame show. We talked about him. Can he be the number one guy? Can he make the plays? Can he cover the receiver? What an interception on that play. Wasn't like Geno gave him the interception. He dove, man. He made a great play on that. It was a great play, and the Bears converted that to 3 points, and they win by 1.
Yeah, that was a great play on his part, and he made a couple of them. He stepped up and stopped the run at one point, and someone had to. They went off on the run. They had, I believe, 240 yards rushing in that game. Ashton Jeanty, we had talked about him. I believe he went into the game with his career high in the previous 3 games with 63 yards. He finished with 21 carries, 138 yards. Obviously, he had the big 65-yarder for the touchdown. 6.6 average. He also caught 2 touchdown passes. Like, man, that kid looked like a player. It was, the Bears really helped him get healthy. But Max Crosby had as good a game as you're going to see. That guy is just he's just a force of nature. It's pretty extraordinary what he's able to do.
I mean, it really is. Going into the week, we talked about him in pregame. They obviously talk about him all week and have a game plan for him, and you still can't stop him. It's impressive. And the guy doesn't come off the field. I don't know where he gets that energy, the motor, whatever it is, and just the instinct. He's pretty special. I think I tweeted at one point the Bears had 6 points, Max Crosby had 7. Like, it just seemed that way that he was winning the game, that he was that impressive. But give the Bears credit at the end. They scored, 25 points to win the game and neutralized them a little bit. I mean, he still was affecting the game, but, Ben Johnson changed some calls and fixed some stuff up. But he's fun to watch, man. I wish we had somebody like that on the Bears. He's just a lot of fun to watch each week.
It's crazy when you talk about the game Genty had and the game Crosby had, and then you say and Pat said the Chicago Bears won.
Yeah.
Right. And Pat, like we talk about, the hardest thing to do in the NFL is to learn how to win football games any way you can. You walk out of there, you don't care as long as you walk away with the W. As long as you walk away by winning that game. And they came away, and the takeaways were big. The defense was huge today. And then, like we're talking about, the Caleb and Johnson and everybody on that last drive, and Caleb being under pressure all game, but still being comfortable in that pocket, man. He didn't have happy feet at all, Pat. He just sat in there, kept his eyes up. Adam Archuleta, I don't know what game he was watching, but he was calling the game and saying things that weren't going on the screen, which was awesome to listen to, too, right? All around, they were just, there was a snap too early, and there were penalties again on the off. There was everything we talked about they couldn't do. Everything we talked about they couldn't do. And they did it and won the game. And to me, man, with 6 starters out, and guys start to come back after the bye, I don't know. I don't know anymore what this team could be. And there's problems they got to solve, right? The penalties, stopping the run, like all the things we talked about, all the things I talked about, why they would lose this game going to Las Vegas. But they didn't, because they got the turnovers, and Caleb helped and had that last drive at the end of the game. They won the game. And then, Pat, special teams, right? Taylor's punt, that's huge.
Yes, huge.
That's huge, man. I mean, we've been waiting for that, right? And then Blackwell's block. That's huge. Special teams came up big.
Yes.